Hey guys, welcome to another week of our weekly fire events. This week we're going to be focusing on rehabbing and flipping this week. We actually have a special guest named Roosevelt Mucker coming in. We're going to be introducing him later on to the recording. How's everybody's week to start off?
Absolutely. Y'all see what we got
So
on?
we got something different on today, y'all.
Man, I don't know if y'all can see the words, but it says on there, let's talk real estate.
Everybody got a lot to say. Let's talk about something that we want to talk about, you know?
Conversations, though. We have to talk about having meaningful conversations. Conversation starters right here. So this is actually some merch that we have on there that we're going to be selling. One for $15, two for $25. You can buy it through one of us or on Facebook.
Yep, on Facebook or Instagram.
Marketplace. Yep. All right.
It's great marketing tool right here for all my agents and investors getting out there. Great conversation starters as well as
got t-shirt too.
got a little t-shirt, you know. Let's talk real estate, y'all. What we doing? We buying? Are we selling?
Okay, I like that.
Are we investing?
Yeah.
What we doing, y'all? Let's talk real estate.
So those shirts we have a special now. We're gonna do 1 for 20. So again, you know, and what this is it actually helps you create those conversations that we had talked about. You know, with people to get your foot in the door.
Yeah,
It's like Jerry said, it was a meaningful conversation. We started that a couple of weeks ago, and we kind of been running with that every week. That needs to be your game plan every day. Every conversation you need to have needs to be meaningful. So one way to help ease that conversation is have someone that said, let's talk real estate.
Right.
You know, let's talk. What else we talking about?
What we had for like 3-4 days so far. I had mine on for like 2 days. Literally had a conversation with 2-3 people just from having the shirt on and having the mask on. So if you're looking to get in the industry and you're just looking to have a conversation, maybe you're shy. Maybe you're just not the person to initiate the conversation. This could be the conversation starter for you. So just keep that in mind and let me on sale. Current events, guys.
So, enough about our commercial.
Yeah. So now talking about the real stuff. I'm pretty sure everybody. It's been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
You know, we're here in Houston, so George Floyd is he's a Houstonian. So that's been on our minds. I've been a whirlwind of emotions this week, from tears to crying to hollering to screaming to anger to doubt to all types of emotions. And I'm trying to keep my head focused, but it's definitely been a week. So I don't know about that's just from my perspective.
Yeah. It's been a little different. I feel like we're in a whole different stage, I guess, in 2020. Because I feel like 2020 has been in stages. You know, we've been introduced to certain things in stages. I just feel like this is another stage that we get into, guys. Just be careful. You know, it's a certain way you can get your point across. Just make sure you're not putting yourself in danger. So,
Absolutely. So, Derek.
Honestly, I just wanted to say, I know I look Indian, but I'm Hispanic, so. But honestly, guys, if I have any Latinos on here that watch this live or afterwards, guys, we gotta come together. I mean, just as much as other races have been oppressed, we have too. We get put down all the time. So why not join forces and master, not even master, but just go above and beyond and actually take this to the next level and come together, because together, as a unit, they're not going to be able to handle us. They're going to be afraid. Think about it. They're going to be very afraid because we can come in large numbers, but there's many ways to approach this besides just too much violence, But regardless, guys, let's support each other. Let's go out there and make each other better and see how we can pick each other up.
Absolutely. And as much as it is, that we say that, you have this group of races, that's a distraction. If they disunite us, then they know we can't come together. But they don't care about the Spanish community just as much as they don't care about the black community. They don't necessarily care about the Chinese community. It's all about what are you going to do, right? In this world, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to benefit?
They don't even care about their own.
Right, exactly.
So what's in it for me?
And as minorities, like you said, we all get discriminated against. Again, if we can come together, work together, and have a voice, and that's what we want. That's what we do here. We want to give you guys a voice. How do we protest? We think as much as it is a race issue, it's an economic issue. And we said that last week.
I feel like they're neck and neck.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like if the race, we're at the bottom of the totem pole, that means financially we're typically at the bottom of the totem pole. So, but like you was going to say, if we had the finances to back us up, we wouldn't be treated like this. leverage. We'll have leverage. You know?
And then you build your own community. You have your own stores. You have your own lawyers. You have,
your own banks,
politicians, and those type of things. Like Courtney was saying earlier, that once you say, okay, you guys can keep looting, we're gonna fire you. So once they put your feeding your family, your economics in jeopardy, then what are you gonna do? Either you're gonna stand up and fight, or you're gonna bow down. And unfortunately, for so long, as minorities, we bow down because we're more afraid of not being able to make it because we don't understand other options as far as having your own businesses, doing your own things, investing, things like that. So when they instill that fear of us, it's an economic fear. And that's how more than not they control us.
Yeah.
40 acres and a mule, all that stuff.
If we would have got the 40 acres and a mule, we wouldn't be in this position today.
Hey.
Okay, so I feel like one thing that Byron Allen said when he was talking to Coretta Scott King was, there's 4 phases to become over here as an African. When we came over here. So now we are now into the last phase, which is economical phase. And she said that Martin Luther King wasn't killed over his "I Have a Dream" speech. It was a speech that he was getting prepared for to bring all the poor whites to go with the poor blacks, and that was what they were afraid of. Because if I can get to all the poor people, now that's when you have you'll have a bigger issue. So that's why they say he was killed. So now how we will have to fund this last phase is by economics. Now, one thing that I noticed that Martin Luther King didn't have, that we have now, is he didn't have a black billionaires or millionaires supporting him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was no LeBrons, there was no Carter, Beyonce, Jay-Z, you didn't have black people that had money. So therefore, his fight was a very different fight than what it could be today. And he didn't have a social media where we can see something right away. So now I feel like this is the right phase, if you would call it, to now where some real change can happen if we plan the right way. So now we got your attention by the riots and the looting and everything. We got your attention. Now we have to plan. And I believe the proper planning, we can have some steps, and we have
some results.
Yeah, and plus you got an idiot in the White House. So it's the perfect storm right now to pull the trigger if we can do it the right way.
You gotta do it the right way. And just like, and again, we can see in the streets, it's a whole bunch of people, different people, races and stuff, rioting. So again, injustice is injustice. It doesn't matter what color you are. Like, the whole thing with sending people back over the border because they're Spanish or something like that. It's still an injustice, And again, they're going to do you however they want to do you based on what's in it for them. So again, if we all know that, we realize that, we band together. If you think about when you talk to other people in other countries, there always is even though we want to be like Americans as far as dressing, music, and that type of stuff, there's always some stigma if you talk to people in other countries if you travel. And they're, what's going on there in America and that type of stuff. And they have some type of animosity towards Americans because Americans, unfortunately, the scene they get or the picture that they get, that we're arrogant, right? That we don't care about ourselves.
Right.
And, that's what they get because if you travel out, you don't see a lot of minorities out.
No.
Like if you've been to other countries, you mostly see one group of race that travel. Right. We don't get out and travel. So they don't have a picture of other Americans that aren't showing that face like we're just arrogant, we think we're better than everybody else, we think we have money, nobody else has it, right? So again, it's about coming together as minorities in general, to support each other, to change. And then even minorities, there's some minorities, we can consider some people that are Caucasian persuasion a minority because they don't necessarily agree with what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. So they're a minority outside of, the normal for their race, what's normal for them, right? So they're included as a minority as well. And that's why we have to get together. Nobody can one group just can't do it by themselves.
Right. Part of the planning goes with proper planning is to use those white, that minority within the white community as our ally and friend, to use. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but most of the people that's been on that front line has been white, and it's been like that for a reason. Because if it's a lot of white people, they won't get touched and harmed and bombed in a way as if it was a black person. So that again was a strategic move. I don't know who planned it, but I've definitely seen some stuff on Twitter about this is one of the guidelines to follow. You see what I'm saying? So now, again, we have to go back into history because if it only repeats itself, we need to say, okay, where did we mess up last time? Let's cover our tracks this time and move forward. But it's going to have to take a lot of educated people like this, people like us sitting down, like you guys at home, talking like this. To right now, I was at home yesterday arguing, and all I can do is just donate. I said, "This my time right now is just to donate. Those people out there, they're gonna need shelter, food, water. So all I can do is donate. And then it's gonna have to be a time that I'm gonna have to play another role. You see what I'm saying? So you just have to just be open minded and just see how this is going to affect, and always keep in mind that within every downfall there's opportunities that's going to present itself. So you just have to keep your eye open and try not to get so wrapped up in your emotions and try to identify, okay, where's the silver lining that's going to come out of this moment right now. That's why I try not, because you can get wrapped up into the negative, but then you got to say, okay, where the good is going to come out of this. It's ugly right now. It's just like rehabbing of a house. Mm-hmm. When you see that first process, the house is ugly right now, but you know at the end of this whole journey, it's going to be beautiful. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at this whole situation. It's just ugly. We had the demolition period right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we knocked it down. And that's the only way you build. So when people say, do you think this is the right thing to burn it down? Yes, because we burn everything down. Now that requires all people to build it back up. Now, if we build it back up the right way, it will be a different force moving forward. Right. But I feel like you gotta tear it down to build it back up. You join a fraternity or sorority, that's what they ingrain you. I'm gonna tear you down and build you back up the way that I feel like you should fit suit.
And it's unfortunate that we have to do that, but like I said, Roosevelt was saying earlier, it's an attention getter. Now you got people's attention. But at the same time, if people are out there, like we just saw a video of cops trying to run people over, somebody gonna fight back. You trying to run me up, I'm gonna break your window or whatever.
You can't kick somebody while you're wrong. Like with all of this Kumo shit on CNN, we got the corona thing, we've been wrapped up on houses side by side.
People losing their minds.
People losing their jobs, their health, and if you look at the charts, the Democrats that's hitting hard, and all of this is blacks. We are the highest of essential workers. We are dying. 50% of the corona is killing black people.
Right.
However, we're working more. We're more essential workers than any other. So that means we're in the front more. We're in the front line more, getting paid less, working harder, and then now we see somebody who looks like our father, our son, our uncle gets take his last breath. That was the kick in the face. That was the kicking me while I'm already down type of philosophy. Like, damn, like, what else do you expect? You can't expect me to take this kick softly. Like, I'm only human.
On the financial side, though, on the financial side of the housing market for millennials, what did they say about the news that were coming out that it might be the best time for millennials to buy a house?
They were saying that on another current event, so this is going to affect, but I sent an article to the group that Vice had sent out about millennials in this housing market. They did say this could be a good time, but then now you have some other changes in the regulations that may cause it to downfall. We're going to talk about it later, but we bring Roosevelt on. But I mean,
we got a special guest today, Roosevelt.
This is a good segue to bring him on, huh?
Yeah, we're going to let him introduce himself.
So before we bring Roosevelt on, so we bring Roosevelt on as a special guest. We're going to transition from we did wholesaling last month. This month, probably a month and a half, we're going to do flipping, rehabbing. So because we're transitioning from one study or one discipline to the other, wholesaling versus flipping, we want to bring Roosevelt on. He's an investor. He's an agent. He's been in the business for many years. Great brother. Everybody in Houston knows him. So we want to bring him on, ask him some questions as we kick off our flipping, and then as the weeks to come, we'll get into more detail about flipping and things like that.
And don't forget to take some notes too, because we're still doing a giveaway at the end of this. So if y'all looking, take some notes, because he's gonna be dropping some gems. So when he drop those gems, write them down. We're gonna ask questions later, and then you can get that free giveaway that we always do every week. So further introduction, go ahead, Roosevelt. Come on in.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Roosevelt. I guess if y'all want me to just kind of tell you a little bit how I got into real estate and all that stuff. My background was barbering. I was in the barbering industry for over 20 years. So from barbering, when I was like about 20, 21 years old, one of my clients, he was a mortgage broker. And so he'll come in and, we was talking and he was, always telling me like, if you ever need anybody to get a mortgage, send them to me. And as times, as everything was working, I kept on, sending them clients. And then he said, hey man, once you get your real estate license, you can work the real estate side, I work the mortgage side. And I was, I really didn't know much about it at the time. The only thing I knew was when you get in real estate, a lot of people, saying you make a lot of money, whatever. You know what I mean? And then it's a good industry. So I didn't really know much about it. So I went into went on, got my license and everything, and then started working with them. But as time, prevailed, I started understanding in real estate just the fact that a lot of minorities and a lot of us, we really didn't own property. You know what I mean? Like we always rent property, got apartments and stuff like that. And so, so it turned from like just getting in it to make money to getting in it to, help people get homes and help people, become first generation home buyers and stuff like that. So that's where my passion in real estate started, from that. And from there forward, I worked, first I started working for a big brokerage. When I worked there, they seen me, young, probably maybe two other black people there, you know what I mean? And I was the youngest one. Right. So them looking at me, they probably, in their mind, they thought like, all right, he's going to get in here 6 months, not make any money, and then get out of it. So they didn't really pour a lot into me. So during that time, I had to really get outside and just really start studying real estate, start really learning about it on my own. And, my wife helped me out with that a lot, bought me different books and stuff like that I was reading. And so, like, within 6 months, after 6 months, I started, getting a little momentum. And then, I started closing like 2-3 deals a month. And that was like during the time, it was like 06, 07, during the time where, you had the hardship in the real estate, in the real estate market. All the agents in there was like going crazy talking about, oh man, how they not making money anymore. It was a recession during that time in real estate. I really didn't know no better. I was just not getting into it. So during that time, I was making money because I also had, my barbering business and I also had real estate. So it wasn't something that I just solely depended on. And so a lot of the agents that I was working around, they depended on it. And they was like I said, they was in a frantic and going crazy. And I was still making money during this time. And what happened was, as I was making money during that time, a lot of the people in the office, like at first, they was helping me out because, I was new. But then as I started, rising up the ladder, especially being, young minority working there, they stopped giving me help. You know what I mean? They was like, I remember going, asking like, hey man, how can I do this? How can I do this? And they say, well, you the top agent of the month, you don't need my help. And, after I started seeing how everybody was acting, one of my other friends, he owned a mortgage brokerage or whatever. I mean, not a mortgage brokerage, but a real estate brokerage. I ended up going working with him. And from working with him, it was really good. As far as I was able to start building, and they didn't put no restraints on me. I just grind from there. Let's see. Y'all have any other questions about that part?
Where you at now? You started as an agent, so where you at now? So, and just for the audience, we already know where you're at. What's your role now in the market as far as agent, broker, that kind of thing?
All right, so my role now is really to build agents up, to build them to the point where they able to, sustain a good living, just change their life and change their family lives. And, from this journey of, being a broker and everything, man, I have at least 4 agents that's brokers now that have their own business now, which is wonderful and great that I help build and help get them started. You know what I mean? So that's the type of, person I am. I'm not like the type of person that's just like, okay, I want this agent to work under me the rest of their life. If their goal, that's first thing, if their goal and dream is to, hey, I want to be like, be like you, not, but I would say, be better than me. You know what I mean? I already, you can learn from my mistakes and you can kind of fast track it. So if your goal is to be a broker or your goal is to be an owner, I'm all for that. So I, built a lot of, agents into the point that, they are full time now. They are making a good living for their family. And not just that, I try to teach them also that, when you're self-employed and you work for yourself, a lot of times we don't have a, good retirement. And so that's where the residual income came from, like, for us to flipping and also rental properties and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, well, while you're making this money when this market is good like this, you need to put some money to the side and start, investing and make, some rental properties, stuff like that. And then I started, showing them how to do that. So then you can build your retirement from that versus waiting on the stock market and other things like that that can be up and down. You know what I mean? Which, I do put money in stocks too. You know what I mean? Especially when everything happened a couple of months ago. I started putting some in there then too. But I mainly invest in real estate because I understand that more and I have more control over that.
So you feel like it's an opportunity for you to actually give back to these people? You came up to a spot where, you're at a good, decent spot now. So do you feel feel like you want to bring the people that you knew up with you in this journey?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I have to this point like I have friends that basically didn't have a direction, didn't know what they was doing, like far as in other industries and stuff. I helped some. I told some of them, hey, get your inspector license. Some get your appraiser license. Different things like that, so we can all work in the same field. We don't have to be doing the same thing, but we can use each other's services and stuff like that. So I definitely believe in that and helping building them up. And I tell people all the time, I want you to pass me up. You know what I mean? I'm never that type to want to sit and just like I want to be on the top by myself. That's not good. You know what I mean? I always want to bring everybody up, and anybody that know me personally, they know my heart, and they know that's that's the type of person I am. I always have been.
Absolutely. And that's how we kind of met. I met a gentleman at a coffee shop, again, started a conversation, named Iran. He's been on here. He actually helped us start the fire, and we said, let's get together as a community and try to, like minds come together and work. And that's how we met Roosevelt through Iran. And right away, we knew, Roosevelt was the type of gentleman that we wanted to be working with. And that's, ever since then, we clicked it off. That was a few years ago. Right?
Yeah.
One day at the Marriott, we all got together. Not the Marriott, the Hilton. Remember that, Courtney? We was all in the Hilton?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's been...
Now we're under him. Now he's my brother. We all work together.
And that's what it's about. We got to work together. And that's what we do here. And we know that's why, again, we appreciate Roosevelt. That's why we want to bring him on, because he's an intricate part of what we do as well.
Yeah, and so we're going to start a question. I had a question for you. My bad.
All right, there we
go. Question was, so you I understand, you help me out, so I do know that you like helping out the younger people. How do you feel like this corona crisis is going to affect the millennials, our generation, on the housing? How is that going to affect the millennials when it comes to trying to start this generational wealth? People like myself, or a lot of people coming out of school got a lot of high DTI and this, that, and the third. And now with, I've heard that Chase increased their credit score to a 700, and I've heard Bank of America increased theirs to a 740. So now, that's hurting a lot of our people, especially millennials. You know what I'm saying? Just not even any race, just millennials in general typically don't have that type of credit score. So how you want, what's your say?
I mean, with the corona thing, it's kind of new for all of us. So we're all kind of trying to learn as we go with everything. But yeah, I'm noticing the same thing that you're saying. That far as I had a client that was getting a house built. That was like 5 months ago we started the process, and now we're trying to get ready to close. The criteria that was good then is not good now. Because a lot of the banks have raised their scores up, and now I see a lot of it looked like they're trying to either slow the market down or make it harder for people like us to buy real estate again. You know what I mean? And that's just simple as that. What it looked like it's coming down to, because I've talked to a couple of lenders. They was like, yeah, now eventually they're gonna want 12 months reserves in the bank account. Just a lot of stuff that they know that the FHA 3.5% helped us out a lot. And then a lot of the down payment assistance programs, they're not doing any of that right now. So it looks like to me that they're trying to make it harder for us. But like anything, we always adjust and we figure it out. You know what I mean? So I don't look at it. I just look at that as far as, okay, that's just another hurdle that I'm going to have to jump. You know what I mean? And eventually, I know we're going to get past all of those things. But I see a lot of credit repair agencies and things like that that's probably going to get a lot of business now, because now different criteria is going to be a lot higher. So in that industry, it may be a good thing to kind of learn those different things to see how to get things off credit and probably help people to get to that point. You know what I mean? Because so that can be another avenue in real estate that you can actually make money in, because of the fact that they are raising the credit criteria in order for people to get homes right now. So I definitely would, encourage them to look into that.
That's why we have to teach people about that kind of here too as well. Teach people about how to build their credit. Like you said,
Yeah, and also teach people about their credit. Like right now, my son, he's getting ready to turn 18 years old, but I already started, building credit in his name already. And that's another thing we have to teach our kids in the next generation, just building up their credit, So I learned when I was in school. When I was in school, one of my teachers, Miss Park, she's a white lady or whatever, very good teacher, man. And she was like, she was teaching the stuff that my parents didn't really know, didn't know how to pass on. My dad, he always saved he always taught save up, buy everything cash. And that's what I was taught. But she was like, hey, you need to build up credit. And I'm like, what is this? You know what I mean? And so she started explaining those things to me and to the class, just not me, to the class. And that was like one, the most meaningful things that really taught me, that really got me going, because by the time I was 18, 19 years old, I had a 740 credit score. You know what I mean? And most 18, 19-year-olds don't have that. When I was going to get my car at that age, I didn't need a cosigner. That was like unheard of. Somebody, 17, 18 years old getting a car without a cosigner and things like that. So those particular things I learned about credit, I passed on. So when my brothers, like during that time, when you were 16 years old, they'll let you get a credit card and let you do it. So I'll get out, like whenever they turn 16, I'll get all of my bank account. I'll put $500 into it, and then I'll borrow against the money. I'll borrow against it and pay it back. By the time, I do that like 3 times for them. By the time they were 18, 19 years old, all of them had 740, 750 credit scores. My brother, he was able to buy his first house at 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? And these things that I have learned, I wasn't just giving it to them. Like people who was like, because like I said, I was in the barbering industry, so a lot of young kids, a lot of even older people, they looked up to me, and so I passed on all that knowledge to them to teach them about their credit and to make sure that they start off on the right track. And so that's my thing. It's just really we have to build it up to that point now, because if you're going to buy a house, if you can't save up that type of money, you're going to have to get you have to build up your credit. So those are things that we have to teach each other.
I just want to drop a little, just because you mentioned it, I wasn't going to bring it up, but like you said, with the credit thing, I work for a bank which primarily is a credit card company. You can, even though you can't apply for a credit card at 16 now, there's no age limit to put you on as an authorized user.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so that is now the new thing to help people out. But there's at my company, I work for Capital One. There's no limit. You have a social security number. You can put somebody on as an authorized user, and a lot of people don't know that. So I just wanted to drop that there for some of
that's good information. Thank you. That's good information.
Just because that's a way that you can help you out when you turn 18.
That's right.
Yeah, I had a question for you. Yeah, Roosevelt. So, quick question. So, I'm not sure if this may be premature, but so from I know you said you got it in the market about 2006. So, from the crash.
It's kind of hard to hear you. I'm trying to. I might have to read your lips and listen.
Okay, so this question may be a little premature, but I know you said that you've been in the market since 2006, and the last crash was in 2008. As of now, do you see any current trends or patterns that you may have noticed back then that in regards to the real estate market slowing down or anything of that nature?
It's like chopping. I can hear you some, but it's not very clear. I heard some of it.
Are you noticing any market trends from 2005, 2006 that you're noticing?
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay, so basically so during that time, 05 and 06, most of my clients was investors. You know what I mean? So they were ready for that type of, they was ready for the market to drop like that. Mm-hmm. So during that time, I was able to sustain. I was able to do well because I knew people, like I said, from the barbershop, I knew people that, had a little money and things like that. And a lot of them, they wanted to start getting in real estate. And so I was finding foreclosed properties, which was all over the place during that time. During that time when you put an offer in on, if a property $60,000, you put going in at 50 with no closing, and asking for closing costs. It was like crazy then, so during that time, it was a lot of investors. So right now, I'm thinking, it just depends on how this market does. I'm thinking it's going to turn into that again because a lot of investors are, reaching out right now to me like, hey, you find anything right now? Let me know. Because you have people that's losing jobs right now that's not going to be able to pay, unfortunately, not going to be able to pay their mortgage, and they're doing forbearances and all these things right now, just piling up. And then once they can't afford the house, of course, the bank, they're going to foreclose on them. And that's when the investor come in and, get the property for a good deal. And during that time, they wasn't flipping them at that time. They was just getting them at a good deal and just renting them out. And, once the market recovered, most of them was able to double and sometimes triple their money, the ones that bought homes during that time. I talked, some of my investors during that time, we still good friends now. And, we was talking about that. The properties that they paid $60,000 for right now is worth like $180,000 to $200,000. And so, but they continue to rent them out. Know what I'm saying? So that's what they're looking for right now. They're like, hey, you find any deals? Or once that, once the market, start looking like it's, like crashing a little bit, then they're gonna try to scoop in and get some more properties too. So it was crazy at that time. So that's what I'm kind of looking at now. Right now I still, as far as with the company, I still see, a lot of agents are still closing and deals and stuff like that. But these are people that have, nurses, people that's their job feels pretty secure. Yeah. Because a lot of lenders, like if your job is not secure, they really like grilling these companies, like, hey, can you guarantee these hours? Are you guaranteed they're gonna be working this amount of time? And just all these things trying to get in to make sure that their investment is protected. That you can pay for the your home. So that's what I see. So I'm kind of looking out for that right now. I'm thinking right now, I don't think we've really seen the big effect right now. I'll give it another maybe 6 months, and then I think we'll really start seeing some things, the real estate market definitely is changing.
Yeah, that's going to change from 6 months on longer.
So would you say it's going to more of a rental property market more than a buying? And, well, it's still buying, but more holding that property and renting it?
I think it's going to be more of a hold. You know what I mean? Once you get it, because if a lot of people can't buy right now, it just depends on, because a lot of people losing jobs. So if a lot of people can't buy right now, they still got to live somewhere. So even the people who's getting foreclosed on, they're going to have to go to a rental. You know what I mean? So even like right now, dealing with rentals right now, whenever we put in a rental application, you have like 5 people on that same application right now. So the rental market is like, it's really hot right now. So I don't see that changing. I think it's going to get even more hectic.
That leads into a question that I had for you. When was the first rental property you bought, and what experiences on that first one did you learn?
It's funny. The property that I'm in right now, as I'm talking, is my first rental property. I bought it at 20 years old. The one that I'm in right now. Yeah. So basically, what I did with this property is a townhome. So what I'm doing with this property, I was renovating and everything, and I was going to get ready to Airbnb it out. Okay. So I started that process a couple of months ago, just, buying the furniture, getting everything in there, because, and it's pretty much, I think I owe like $10,000 on it, so it's almost paid for, you know what I mean? Yeah. So basically, my renter's been paying for this property the whole time, you know what I mean? And then I got to a point, I said, all right, I've been seeing how Airbnb work, you know what I mean? I said, okay, if I fully furnish everything and do all this stuff, I can Airbnb it out. And right when I was getting ready to do all that, that's when the pandemic happened, and I paused on it because I didn't want people in this house and, not understanding how the COVID-19 worked. I didn't have enough knowledge on that, because I didn't want anybody to be here and spreading the stuff and all that stuff, so I paused on it. So, like I said, my son, he's 17 years old, so he's getting ready to be 18. This is going to be his first property, so I'm going to give it to him. You know what I mean? So right now I'm teaching him about this stuff. I'm teaching him, like, man, son, this is the first, like the property, right? I said, this is the first property I bought right now. And I was showing him the numbers, showing him how much, I paid for it back then, how much it's worth now. I actually I came in and renovated once the last renters moved out. I said, I'm going to renovate the whole thing, Airbnb it out, and then, let my son have, this will be his first income producing property, and teaching him how to, do the same thing, and have my nephew doing the same thing. So it's, I'm lining them up. They don't have to make, some of the mistakes I made, but also, I have had several mentors that taught me, on my way, to this point.
So let me ask you so your first rental property, you bought it when you were young, obviously. What were some of the obstacles that you faced when you were first getting that property? Okay, the obstacle was family. All right. So, like I told you, I'm a good-hearted person, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. Issue was, whenever you do everything, you rent it out. I mean, family, a lot of times they be like, oh, I don't have a place to stay, blah, 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 blah. And then, I'm like, all right, man, rent it out to one family member. They'll pay for the first 2-3 months. Mm-hmm. Then eventually, hey, can I pay you next week? Or can I do this and do that and do this? And then that was the issue. Then, and it's hard to say no to family when, sometimes when you're in a position to do, you know what I mean? But I had to learn over the years how to say no, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what I learned is people are selfish. At the end of the day, people think about their self. And so if they're in a position and they can't pay, they're not thinking like, oh, he got to pay this mortgage anyway.
You know, they're not thinking about that. They're only thinking about their position that they can't pay. And then when you finally, have to, kick them out or whatever the case may be, all that. Once I get my income tax, I'm gonna pay you back and all that stuff go out the window. You know what I mean? So I have learned just in this instance, it's okay to help family. And I did have one family member that rented one of my other properties. Excellent renters. You know what I mean? No complaints. They was excellent. But I have learned, just keep it. I have to keep it business. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because I learned at the end of the day, if it's my neck or their neck, they're gonna make sure that they save theirs, and they're not worried about my family, and not worried about the mortgage I have to pay. And then another thing I learned, like when they owe you money, if things going wrong in the property, they're not calling you and letting you know that it's a leak right here because they owe you money. So the problem is a lot of stuff ends being more. You know what I mean? So when I kick them out, I find out like, oh man, this was leaking. Oh yeah, that was leaking. Why didn't you tell me? I could have remedied the problem, and now it's a bigger problem. Yeah. So I learned that. I deal with them too.
I hope y'all wrote that stuff down.
Please, man, for sure.
And that goes with friends too. Don't just exclude friends.
Oh no, my bad. I had a set of friends too.
Yeah.
I hope they listening. Yeah. They know.
So question. So what do you do? So what's your? Do you have like a criteria that you follow now when you do your rental?
Yeah, I have a screening process. I have them go through a company. They pull the background. They, make sure, I make sure that for us, they don't have any evictions within the past, a certain amount of time. And sometimes I give certain people a break, man, because, sometimes it's hard for like felonies or people like that to rent a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And if they have a consistent job and they've been on their job for a while, a lot of times I found out with them, they are more appreciative because they ain't got too many choices. You know what I mean? So I had a couple, and it just depends on what kind of felony it is too. You know what I mean? But some of them I have let in some of my properties, and they took care of my properties well because, like I said, they didn't have much of a choice on where they can go, and as long as they have a good job stability and stuff like that, sometimes I give people, sometimes I give them a break. It just depends on, it depends on my discernment. Once I meet them, talk to them face to face, different little things like that. I like to give people second chances because I know out here a lot of people not. You know what I mean? So if I can give them a second chance, I will. But if they just, but if they like just 30 days late on some stuff and don't pay their bills on time, then I'm not going to play with them because they're not going to pay me either.
Yeah. No, that's real smart because, you have a niche there. That's what I was trying to figure out if you had like a niche of renters since you already went through the family and friends process. And I mean, I guess, like you just said, if you're a felony, your options are limited. So I guess you will treat that as if it is your own. And that's the type of runner you want in your house. Is one that's going to treat it like his own. So that's
and that's what I learned too. Like, so I'll go to the house once. Normally they can send in rent, but I'll go to the house once a month just to kind of see how they treating the house and make sure everything is fine with the house. Because like I said, you want to make sure that they're not letting any maintenance stuff getting, just piling up because, you can go to some houses, they don't change the air filter and then it can clog up the AC and now the AC is leaking and now you got a sheetrock problem and all they have to do is just change the filters out, different little things like that. So, once a month, once a couple of months, I'll go there and just tell them I'm doing a routine maintenance check just to make sure everything is working properly. So, like I said, you can do preventative maintenance stuff because a lot of things will, it can cost you more in the long run.
Dropping gems out there. That's what I was going to say. That's a nugget, y'all. That was a nugget. I like that. You got another one?
Yeah, I got another question. Anybody else have a question?
Go ahead.
All right, okay. So we talked about your first rental. Now, talk to us a little bit about your first flip. What was your experience with that?
First flip. Okay. First flip, I did it with some partners or whatever. You know what I mean? Like a partnership. 3. You know what I mean? It was an experience, dealing with friends and dealing with that, doing the flip with, people that and stuff because I guess we all had like put the money in, but everybody didn't really understand the roles. You know what I mean? And when it comes to flipping, now you got ideas that people, that don't know anything about design or anything like that, but they want to have their input because they have their money in it. And then you have some of the people that, don't understand that certain things you got to do to the house in order to make it marketable. They trying to like just cover up. That's like, oh, we can just throw some paint on that, or we can just, do that and try to shortcut everything. So I had to learn, like, for us with that, experience to deal with people that I, kind of know they care, know how they do. I guess people that's kind of experienced in that industry. You know what I mean? Because when you're dealing with new people that's not very experienced in that industry, a lot of times, like I said, I know it's all about, you're trying to make a dollar, it got to make sense. But sometimes there's certain things you have to do to their property in order for it to sell because you're comparing it to other properties in the neighborhood and things like that. So the first flip, I think we might have, between three of us, we might have split 10,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a good experience. You know what I mean? And I learned a lot. You know what I mean? During that process, I learned a lot about me. I learned a lot about the people I was dealing with, as far as in business. And so I learned, I just got to deal with that person that had the right nucleus with me. You know what I mean? And we can all be on the same page. And everybody know their roles. You know what I mean? So if everybody understand and know their roles, then you can make it work properly. And also at first I was the one that was going at the house checking on it more. And then you have somebody who don't go check on it, and then they'll have an opinion, and they ain't seen the house. You know what I mean? So that was my gripe on that, as far as in that part. But just make sure you do it with people that you know, and everybody have their role. And once everybody have their role and understand their role, you can make it work.
That's a great nugget. If you ever invested in a property on flip with other people, then you know exactly what he's talking about. Everybody has an opinion, but may not know real estate. Oh, we should do this, we should do that. Man, and I have to tell people all the time, you're not living here. It's not about what you like. It's not about what you like. Or we should do this, we should do that. What's going to bring the money back to you? That's what's the most important, because it's a venture to make money, right? That's an important. You got to have a good team that, like I said, understands their roles and people understand. If you're not experienced, then back up, put your money in, and back up and watch. Right. So for the next time, you might gain some experience instead of trying to throw all your opinions in there and you don't really know, about real estate and flipping and markets and what it costs and all that. That's a great nugget. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have? I'll go on to my next question. Yeah, we're gonna do one more question for you, then we'll kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
So you also, as far as doing flips, you also do a little investing with us, with me in particular. How's your experience been so far with that?
It's been good, man. I have no complaints. We still friends now. We still talking. So I'm get my money back. so we good. Now it's going good. And then, like I said, the good thing is, it's tangible. I'm able to come to the property and actually see it. So it's not like something I'm invested in that I never see. So if I invested in a property, you have no problem. Like, hey, come, let me show you what we're doing. Let me show you what we have done and the steps that we are in. And your communication been well, so I have no issues with that. So we're good.
Why I ask that, people always say they want to invest. And I tell people all the time, all money's not good money, and all investments aren't good investments. So you got to, on the investor side, you have to, you have to work with people that understand the markets, like I said, communication, that kind of thing. And as you're flipping the property, you have to understand, who you should bring on as investors, as far as what money you should take, So, and that's the reason why I wanted to ask you that question.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also with investment too, just to add on to that, whenever you do invest money, make sure it's not your bill money and you need it next month or 2 months later. You know what I mean? Because that right there, man. make sure it's some money that that is long term that you okay with, and everything's still gonna be sustainable. Because you're investing your bill money, you don't need to be investing right now. Wait till you get to the point where you do have enough money and you have enough reserves to take care of your household, and you have that put to the side, and then you won't have to be nerved up and worried that when things come up. You know what I mean? Because things are gonna come up. That's just life.
And I tell people all of that. And if you're gonna be calling me every week about where my money at, then it ain't the right time for you or for me to work with you. But that's very important, because that's we saw Corona. They all got properties.
Yeah.
Things like that happen. It's just a part of the process.
It happens, man. So you have to understand that things gonna happen, and the way I look at it, just when borrowing or investing in anything, if you ain't got it to lose or give, don't do it. You know what I mean? But of course you want to win. But I just put that in my mind that if I ain't got it, if I'm gonna be crying about this or something gonna happen, then I don't have it to give at this point. You know what I mean? I need to keep it in my pockets until I get to that point. So definitely understand that, because right now, like you say, with this pandemic, everything's a little bit, some things a little slower right now. So it's understandable.
All right. So the last question I just want to ask before we wrap it up with you is, what is one thing if you could think of one thing that you wish you would have known before getting into this, that you would like to share with some people. Before getting into this, what's something that you wish you would have known back then that you don't know?
My thing was reading. Reading books. That's really because you got to have a change of mind. You know what I mean? Because we have been taught a certain way how to get money on things like that. So if you don't know what to do with the money when you get it, you're gonna be broke again. You know what I mean? You're going in the same cycle. So it's really just molding my mind on just as far as financial literacy, financial books, and and Napoleon Hill, that his book, Think and Grow Rich, that kind of changed. It kind of changed my mind on how money works. It changed my mind how people think, because you have to be able to, your mind. You have to have a mind change, because we haven't been taught a lot of these things. I didn't grow up learning about stocks or real estate or investing and stuff like that. You have family households that people have grown up with that, and so they have a head start in those particular areas. So it's really getting, reading, learning those things, and then getting with somebody that's doing those particular things. At that time, I didn't have anybody really to kind of follow. You know what I mean? So I had to follow people who have done this, and they wrote books about these particular things. So it was not an excuse. You know what I mean? So a lot of times people have excuses, so they don't have a mentor, they don't have people that can, I guess, pour into their life that way. But now you have YouTube, you have so many avenues where you can get the education in whatever you want to, whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? So I would definitely tell them, if whatever industry that you want to get in, read and learn about it. You know what I mean? Learn from the people who are doing the things that you eventually want to do. And once you learn from them, and then you'll just see, you'll start being connected with people. Once you start drawing that energy, the energy starts coming around you, and you'll start connecting with people in that particular industry, real estate and all these things. So how people, like whenever you're doing something, they like, man, it's just everything just fell in line. Well, it's because you're putting that energy out. You're out here studying, and you're putting that energy out, and then eventually you're going to start meeting those particular connections that you need to meet in order to get to that certain point. So my main thing is just really getting that education, start studying and start learning, and then, like I say, God will draw those particular things to you. That energy will draw it. I promise you that.
Man, thank you, brother.
Very good. Y'all give it up for Roosevelt. Hey, Roosevelt, you want to just drop your information for our crowd so they know how to get in touch with you?
Okay, one of my email addresses, you can do my first name, Roosevelt, ROOSEVELT, Mucker, MUCKER, @gmail.com. And, I can, if you have any questions, and then you can maybe I can put up the link or whatever, and then if people have any questions, they can get with me. Or if you have real estate questions, anything.
We're going to type in your
please.
real estate program
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
and all that.
You got an Instagram?
I do have Instagram.
That's the new business card right there,
Man, hey, man, you know I'm not big on social media, man. I gotta start. I think my Instagram is hold on, I think it's Mr. President. Hold on, let me look at my Instagram real quick. Hold on a second. Yeah, I know I'm bad on that. I say, man, I'm still old school. I look young, but I'm about to be 40, man. I still don't, ain't all the way on it.
It's a transition, man. It's a transition. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, no, I'm a bitch. And then I'll be honest with you, man. I'm a private person too, and I don't really, like doing this. I normally wouldn't do, but I know I need to start speaking more. You know what I mean? I have a lot of knowledge to give, and I have done it a lot, like for us with individuals and stuff. But I know I have to do it on a broader basis. So this is why I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and just, I'm going to start doing it. You know what I mean? So I don't
appreciate you, man.
We'll have you on.
We'll have you on later.
Again, when I see you, I'm going to give you one of these masks and t-shirts, brother. Hold on. You heard me? I said, when I see you, I'm going to give you one of these masks or one of these t-shirts for coming on with us.
Please do, man.
Please do. Go to you later.
Thank you.
All right. I'll take it easy. All right.
All right, guys.
I mean, we're dropping some good gems out
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you missed some of it, you can always watch recording. All this stuff is always recorded on YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. And we're going to plug this one more time so you can get on there, Let's talk real estate. You can buy, you know, the
Well,
matters.
Before we go, I do want to just I want to talk about how this conversation went. I definitely want to say that last gem that he dropped about the books. That's definitely how I got started. Ross here gave me a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that was the book I read that, and that was what transformed my mind. Because, like he said, I didn't grow up with nobody who was into real estate. No, my father. I remember when we bought our first house. Put it like that. You know what I'm saying? My father was a renter his whole life, so. Just hearing, changing that, reading something that somebody has did that you wish to inspire, I believe is the best gem that he dropped. Just reading and educating. That's what we here always to preach about. Just getting knowledge is the best thing you could probably do. So I like that.
That's our name, FIRE.
That's right, financial intelligence.
Financial intelligence.
How y'all feel about that?
Oh, it's pretty good. Y'all should really go back and watch that because he really dropped some gems. I mean, even when it comes to educating the youth and just getting them set up in a way that they're successful, it's just pretty like magnificent just to somebody to have that mindset to do that in order to propel our future generation.
Because what he said, he only owe about $10,000 on his house that he's about to give to his 18-year-old. You know what kind of financial success that he just set him up? Could you imagine if all of us here at this table was gifted with a 18th gift as a house, first rental property?
Yeah.
You know what type of setup that is? That's like a nice little alley right
Honestly,
there.
guys, he's really breaking generational curses because he's setting up so many other people that's coming down the line. Like that is so important.
And that's what brings that back off what we talked on in the beginning. This is how you create a community where you're not abused.
Correct.
And people just, it's race. It is race. But if you don't need a certain person's
job or financial, you don't need somebody financially feeding you.
Exactly.
You won't depend on them as so much. So
and you ain't gonna take as much crap.
And you're not gonna take as much crap. So now this young man, when he gets 18, he has this income producing property already that may be worth whatever. He didn't pay for it at the end of the day. Now when he goes and talking, his confidence level, the way he walks and the way that he talks will be so much different than the average 18-year-old.
Right.
And it's because how he was set up. And that's, if we did that as a community, our community will be looked at and respected differently. Why do you think the Asian man, the Indian man, they are looked at differently? Because when they come over here, they set up businesses, they set up shop. When they walk and they talk, they know they do not need your dollar. I don't need the government money. I don't need your government money. I have a Chinatown. I have my own bank. The street's named. You know what I'm saying? They have their own community in every major city in the United States. So that's why they can walk and talk with a certain arrogance, if you want to call it, or confidence level, because they have the finances to back them up. So that's why it's just as much as this is a race issue, it is also equally, if not more, economical and financial issue.
And the crazy part is, even though he's like setting them up financially, his mindset as an 18-year-old would be completely different from any other 18-year-old out there. Just because, the
talks that he had with his dad.
The talks, the money. I mean, even when
he said he showed his son how much he bought it for. So it don't take a rocket scientist to say, "Damn, my dad bought this when I was just 1, and he only paid $60,000 for it, and now it's worth, according to the taxes, it's worth $200,000, and he had somebody in there paying his mortgage the entire time." That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why go to college?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could just spend $100,000 on a couple of rental properties. And then in 20 years, that would be just as good, if not better, than a 401k from any job that I worked for 20 years. Or my salary that I want to break a crisp of anxious because they might fire me today or tomorrow. Coronavirus, pandemic might come and might wipe my job, but if I have some real estate, that ain't gonna never go.
Right.
And something everybody will always need somewhere to stay.
Once again, we talking about security.
Yeah.
That is financial security for you.
And coronavirus and all this that's going around is teaching everybody to wake up and you have to be secure within yourself. Financially, mentally, exactly.
Physically, all of it.
Yeah, you have to be.
You gotta wake up.
You have to wake up. This did not wake you up. You know what I'm saying? We had a good host. I'm so thankful that he came on here because he definitely was dropping gems. It feels good to know that there's somebody out here who's 40. So technically, he is a millennial on paper. You know what I'm saying? Because I think born in 1981, you're like, so he's technically a millennial. No matter how they pay, from 1981 to 95, if you were born, I believe that's, if I'm not mistaken, that is what makes you a millennial. So he's a millennial here. that has a rental property about to give it to his 18-year-old, man. I hope y'all share that and you know, it's a lot of ugly stuff out here that we're looking at on our screen, but share this type of information.
Share the information, share this video,
it's gonna be on our YouTube.
Share the YouTube video, share it all. You know, like the Instagram, like it all.
And something that I do want to plug in real quick is, guys, like the fact that he's doing that for his son is just amazing because, like, my father, like, he didn't have like a house that he could give me at 18, but he did have, like, you know, information about credit. So as soon as I turned 18, my credit was good. You know, he gave me like all the information he could give me. He did have his rental properties that he's kind of embedded this to me at a young age. So I was out there as 18, 19, 20-year-old talking about real estate, knowing kind of what I was talking about. People were like, where did this young cat come from? Imagine this kid that's going to already have his own property. You know what I'm saying? But like, it just goes into the, and one of the biggest things that he said is just kind of like, he didn't really directly say it, but like, he just kind of kept saying it, that no matter like how long you may have known somebody, whether it's been a family, a friend, or something like that, doesn't mean that you have to, I'm not going to say keep them around, but doesn't mean they're always going to positively benefit you, you know what I'm saying? Because he had family members who moved in, and I have my rental property, so I could tell you guys certain stories, you know, that like friends that you've been knowing for X amount of years, they go out there, and just because they're your friends, that they can take advantage of certain situations because they think you're at a certain point, right? I got it. But you know, it just that right there to me kind of stood out because guys, like you gotta, like he said, you're gonna attract who you attract because of what you're looking into, right? True. So guys, go out there and get the knowledge, get the resources, read the books, watch the videos, do what you gotta do to prepare yourself because at the end of the day, the law, if you believe in the law of attraction, those things are gonna come to you and they're gonna, you know, propel you forward. So guys, just honestly with the stuff, I'm gonna go personally rewatch that because a lot of stuff he said was
gems, man. He just dropping some gems. So,
any closing comments, Jay?
We gotta ask the question though.
We can ask the question. We still want to stay with meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
And honestly, guys, if you're just rocking this merch, just a shirt that says real estate on it, it automatically attracts people who even want to think about getting into real estate or who already is in real estate.
That's why we made them. I mean, outside of that, you know, we cover our costs, make a couple dollars to, you know, get room. When we get rooms, maybe provide food, things like that. You know, we can all pump it back into the business. But this right here is going to help especially the beginner.
Yeah, the beginner.
This will help the beginner.
Go ahead, you're a real estate agent.
You got to ask.
Yeah, right. You don't even know where to start at. You know, they're going to start it off. They're going to start the conversation. Hey, you're in real estate. What do you do? Oh, okay. I'm just trying to, get some, some insight. So, anything else you guys want to finish with?
Closing remarks.
No. I'm just, other than stay safe out there. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. Try to, feel your emotions. Don't suppress your emotions. It's all right. Cause I know, especially in our community as men, you're taught to not cry and not to do. But that's how you explode. That's how somebody pops off and they just bottle that up. So reach out to therapists. They doing Zoom calls and just get your mental right. Because if your mental not right, not all of this that we're giving you, you're not even going to be able to accept it because your mental is all thrown off. So you got to make sure your mental is right. That's all.
It starts with the mindset.
The mindset.
So that's what I was going to say too. If you have hope, like if you look out on TV now, you don't have hope. They're killing black people in the street. They're locking up Mexican people because they ain't citizens. All these different things that are going on. And when you look at it inside of yourself, if you see all that and you don't say, I have hope, I may lose my job because of corona and things like that, there's no hope. So that affects you emotionally, right? So, but if you have the right mindset, you read, you educate yourself, I'm going to educate myself so I can do better, down the road, even if it may not be right now. I'm going to do better. I'm going to teach my kids to do better. That's how you're going to keep that positive spirit, if you know what I mean, that positive attitude. If not, you're just going to look out in the world and say everything is depressed, it's falling apart, right? And that's not going to help you. It's going to make you worse. So do something, mindset, like you said.
Meditate. Try not to get on your phone within the first 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Clear your head. Be thankful.
Or turn it off altogether for like a week. Good.
You know what I'm saying? Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself those affirmations that you've written down and you haven't took them back out. Take them out now. Look in the mirror and read them. Let yourself know you're valued. You are loved. You have a purpose here, and you won't leave this earth until you complete that. So just have those type of affirmations and mean it. And it starts with up here, then everything else will, the law of attraction, all of that will come in. But so what's the question of the week? So the free giveaway, y'all? I think.
Keep going.
What book did Roosevelt drop that he said was the game changer for him. He dropped the book.
He said 2 of them.
He did.
He said 2 books.
He did.
No, he said what book. Courtney said one book, and Roosevelt said another.
Yeah, Roosevelt named 2 books, but just give us one.
Oh, I didn't know
Just give us
Roosevelt
one.
was one.
Yeah. And or you can, we'll make it easier for you. Or you can drop the book that Courtney gave.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about. Yeah, I was really just talking about at the end when we asked Roosevelt what book changed him. He mentioned there was a book that changed his, that gave him a different perspective that started him thinking differently when he was at the age of 18. So
It was a very popular
it
book.
was a very popular book. Actually, one of my professors in college rewrote it, and it's very popular. So yeah,
If you tell us that book, we'll give the
we'll
book
get
to
you
you
a
for
free
free.
giveaway. There you go.
So,
Get a free book. So in closing, so again, like I said, we did this special guest because now we're transitioning to the flipping, right? So from Sunday here on out, next Sunday, the following Sundays, we're gonna start teaching people how to flip from A to Z. So go back over your wholesaling notes, especially the ones that you're talking about, finding properties, establishing your business, getting business cards, because all those are the same process. That's why we start with wholesaling. That's still the same process, right? Now we're talking about more in particular flipping, but you have to have all those business entities in place, your business card, all that stuff is a part of it. And I'll review a little bit of that on our first class next week on Sunday. So far it's going to be Sunday. We may change the day because, we found another day is more conducive for everybody to get on. Because people like to watch the video after the fact. We want people on the live more. So, but right now Sunday. We'll just stick to the Sunday at 1. Next week we'll start our flipping 101.
And contact us again on our fire page, or contact us individually if you want to get you a mask or a shirt. Again, this is what the mask look like. Let's talk real estate. Good conversation starter. And then on the back, you're in line. Say, buying a home, selling a home, investing. Let's talk real estate, y'all. So we got both of these for sale. Hit us up. Have a good week and stay safe out there.
what we talking?
We'll be talking. If it ain't real estate, let's talk real estate, baby.
All right, you guys have a good one. See you guys later.
Thank you. Appreciate it.